Hail and well met. Welcome to the first official actual gaming session of Path Arcana, a new campaign here on the Dungeon Scrawlers. I am Eric Scott DeB, sometimes the DM of games here on this channel, the DM of this campaign. I am a writer, game designer, editor, all kinds of stuff. You know, just look me up on Amazon, you'll find my work. And I wanted to wish everybody a happy International Women's Day. That's not necessarily going to influence the game that we're playing, but it is indeed a thing. Unless you're in Australia like Allie, in which case, happy Thursday. Take it away, Allie.
Yeah, happy Thursday indeed. Hi, I am Alexandra Pitchford, or Allie. I am a writer, game designer, and a TTRPG streamer a lot these days, which is fantastic. And I have some things to say about one of our sponsors, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. Idle Champions is a strategy game that unites iconic Dungeons and Dragons characters from novels, campaigns, and popular shows into one epic adventure, including Farida, Havilar, and Mahen from the Brimstone Angels novels. The game is available for PC and Mac on Steam and web, Epic Game Store, Google Play, Xbox One, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, iPad, iPhone, and on all Android devices. Right now, there are three notable things to talk about. One, Idle Champions presents Fury of the Black Rose is ongoing. It's actual play that's live every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific. Right now, you can vote every day for what happens in next week's session and in rewards along the way. We've also got Spring's Gathering celebration that just started. Log into Idle Champions to collect a spring chest every day. Collect 4 chests to unlock a champion Turiel, 3 gold Turiel chests, and an exclusive skin and feat for Turiel. And then as well, Steam players can log in and get the Dungeon Master's Renown DLC for free. It includes Champion Spurt, Dungeon Master, Freely, Birdsong, Barrowan, an exclusive familiar, the Quickling, 16 named gold chests with 2 guaranteed shinies for each champion, and 2 epic potions. For more information, check out idlechampions.com.
Wow, that's a lot going from Idle Champions.
It was, and now I do have a drink.
Check out our code down below in the doobly-doo down below.
Yes.
And awesome.
My turn.
Yep.
Because I organize these things. So
I
know when my turn is.
She likes lists, okay?
No, I just like knowing where I'm going. So I have a couple other good sponsors to tell you about. Both make dice. Norse Foundry makes metal dice. When you roll them, it feels like you're skillfully smashing the rigid armor of the monster horde. They also offer cool gaming accessories. You can find their store and more about them at norsefoundry.com. Phoenix Dice is named for the creature that rises from the ashes because they use all recycled materials for their dice. You can find their dice and also gaming accessories at phoenixdice.com. I'm Rhiannon Held. I write urban fantasy is Rhiannon Held, and space opera is RZ Held. And my space opera novella series is now complete. And I've been trying out, just shouting out different tropes. So today's trope is that a lot of my romances are adversaries to lovers, if that's the kind of thing you're into. And later in the series, there is also an emotional support cat. So I'm going to put the link in the chat if you would like to check out that series.
Awesome.
Oh, adversaries to lovers. That makes me think of a YouTuber that I really enjoy right now that is having her first foray into writing, but we won't go there because I have no sponsorships to tell you about except that you should support all of these beautiful people that I play with and who I love and enjoy. My name is Benjamin Williams. I work at Xbox on supporting our first party studios on making our games more inclusive, and that is all I've got to tell you except that I just am so happy to be here.
Do you have any kind of disclaimer that you have to share?
Oh, just the usual, all opinions are my own Microsoft things and stuff, and please don't at me, and I love you all.
Very cool.
All right, and I am Brian Cortijo, spelled exactly how you think you would spell it if you spelled it correctly. All my opinions are correct. I am a writer, game designer. You probably have something with my name on it somewhere. In my day job, I am a higher education administrator, and I'm just here to have some fun and make some fun and hopefully entertain you folks.
Excellent. So I'm going to start off by introducing you to a new mechanic, which is to say that I draw 3 tarot cards before each game, and then they come into play during the course of the game. And we are going to start the Path of the Magician by sending you to Maritaas. So, nestled in a cove beside the emerald waters of the Sethian Sea, Maritaas is a bustling port built among the deteriorating ruins of a much older city, one whose foundations date from long before the rise of humanity. Elven runes adorn some of these ancient stones, mysterious glyphs carved for a long forgotten purpose. Docks and berths bristle with 100 ships that fly the flags of many lands, some as far away as the lands where the sun rises and those from where it sets. There's even a contingent of the red claw flags of the Infernal Empire clustered around one end of the docks. At the market, coin is exchanged in the open, salty breeze off the sea. It is a port of dozens of twisting avenues and flop houses where any number of folk can get lost among the peddlers and hustlers. Perfect for traveling adventurers low on coin. So, my first question is, have you come to the city on your own, or have you come as a group?
I think where we left off last time would make sense that we're here as a group, yeah.
True, but that's not necessarily a linear progression in this campaign, so it could
Fair.
have been some time.
True. And given the propensity of Lucretia to generally prefer to work alone, she might have left at some point, likely without any sort of indication that she was leaving or even saying goodbye. Kind of the Batman-esque turnaround, and she's just completely left.
See, I was
But
thinking like Gandalf circa The Hobbit, where it's just like you're like, I show up when you need a Deus Ex Machina, and then I leave. Like,
And given Danos's propensity for getting a sack thrown over his head, getting knocked out, and waking up someplace he didn't expect, it's fully possible that he's here not only not of his own volition, but unaware that's where he is when he's woken up.
Okay, so let's say that you are scattered when you arrive in the city, when destiny
and
starts to
Siri is
reach
definitely
for you.
with Zeph though.
Okay, so you two are together.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
okay.
Because we had a deal. He's
That's
not gonna
right.
like run off and renege on the deal.
oh, you're not getting out of my sight.
Okay, so let's start there with the two of you who are together. So Zeph and Ansari.
Mhm.
Coin is a bit light. You could obviously use some work, or maybe you want to pursue some of your other goals. Regardless, it's a bustling port city. There's a market, there are docks, there are sleepy neighborhoods. There's a district with a temple to the Church of the Star in it, and shrines to various of the Arcana that rule over the world. What do you think you'd be doing? Are you in a tavern having a drink? Are you seeing the sights? Are you trying to buy a new ship?
I mean,
I'm in that. Go ahead.
well, I was gonna say, in theory, like drinking's all very well, but if we need our money for the ship, which we do, then like why not just sort of like catch some food outside of the city and then roast it and like save the money, right? So she'd be totally seeing the sights rather than sitting down in a tavern.
Yeah, I completely imagine this conversation where you suggest that, and I'm like, and yes, true, that is an option. However, I'm going to need you to follow me. And then I would take you through the city and through various sort of like asking around. I would find maybe like the best renowned baker that's there, and I would have you like wait around the corner, and then I'd go, and maybe you'd overhear parts of a conversation in which I am sort of like being just absurdly complimentary to someone. You can't see who they are, but after a while, like you're like, there's no way anyone is falling for this, and then I come back with literally like an armful of baked goods, and I'm like, see, this is just stick with me. You're gonna be just fine. I'm also gonna need you to try this scone. It has well, there's some kind of fruit in it. You like fruit? You're an elf, right? Yeah. Here,
Yeah.
take the scone. I can't really let go, so you can just cool. Okay, and then I'm just gonna like a bird. The rest.
Hey, now my follow-up question, and Sari specifically, how disguised are you?
Disguise?
Yes, are you wearing your hood over your pointed ears and elven features, or are you just walking around clearly being an elf in broad daylight? Elves are very rare in this world, as you have discovered over your short time traveling through it.
So she has like been to enough small towns and collected enough stairs that she is covering her ears, but I think she's gonna do the like Galadriel Rings of Power thing, where it's like just with the hair. It's like, just comb it there.
No,
It's good.
Okay.
But she still
What about
stands
your
out.
attire? What about your attire? Does it scream I am not from here?
Well, it's less about, because it screams that she is not like urban, because it's very sort of like rangery, oiled
Okay.
cloak and
Got it.
blend in colors, etc. But her manner is very sort of like, why are people close enough to bump into me? Why would anybody want to be this close? This is weird. Oh, there's somebody who almost bumped into me over there. That's weird. Oh no, somebody over there bumped into me. That's weird. Wait, they're talking so loud I can hear them. And also they're talking so loud I can hear them. And I can't like not listen, but I don't want to listen. So she's like sensory overload.
A bit
Excellent.
overwhelmed.
So you look like a target. Great. So I can see that a lot of my time is spent sort of trying to obfuscate like that and like make up various stories, hopefully that are inoffensive about why you might be acting so foolishly in a city, leading you around and things like that. And while we're doing that to avoid attention and literally mouthful of some sort of bready material, I would begin to have a conversation with you about like, all right, so ship. I'm gonna get a ship. But like ships, so I think it's like a step kind of a thing. Sort of like baking. Yeah. Baking is like steps. You gotta start with some base ingredients, and I think our base ingredient is gonna be coin. So marketable skills. What you got?
Well, she can lay a little cantrip on him. Let's see what cantrip would be a good one. She'll do gust. Let me look up how much of a, because that'll probably draw even more attention if it's too much of a. Let's see.
Oh, I imagine I would have sort of like pulled you off, not like into an alley, but
okay.
in just sort of like, I don't know if there's like a park or like some little side place, because we've got to eat. Adventuring is calorie heavy work, and we've got to carb up.
So Captain Zeph has managed to talk his way into a number of baked goods, but that's not necessarily sustainable. So
right. But it was more just in response of like, I'm sorry, unseasoned, unflavored, untreated game. Like
she probably has salt in her pack. Come on.
Oh honey, that's so cute that you think that's sufficient.
Herbs? I don't know.
Okay, so you're discussing plans for going forward with work.
Yes.
Lucretia, what has led you to this city?
I believe that she was probably led to this city by probably whim more than anything at this juncture. Perhaps, certainly she was a bit stymied at the escape of the people she was after at the guardhouse. So I think maybe not whim. Maybe she thinks she can find something here. Find where these people have gone to ground.
New lead.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How disguised are you? You are also a very striking looking person.
Not remotely.
Okay. You're drawing lots of attention as you walk through the streets.
Also, I love that you don't say anything about the incredibly attractive, like, pirate not drawing any attention. Thanks for that. You know,
Well, I mean, he has drawn some attention. It's true.
maybe just not the right kind.
But no, she's like
It's a mix.
Wings are folded up on her back, like the horns, the pointy ears, the black metal armor. None of it's hidden.
All right. So, tell me what your passive intimidation result would be, which would be,
Passive
10
intimidation.
plus your intimidate check.
10 plus intimidate. Let me
So you
actually
don't
bring up
roll
the-
intimidate. Just tell me what it would be.
16.
16. Yeah, people are giving you a wide berth. Like there are small children who point and ask whether you are one of the spirits, and then their parents usher them away. And
Valid.
people don't seem to want to talk to you.
Why? I'm so
you've been to
personable.
yes, you've been to several establishments already, and you are now showing up at a tavern. This looks like a place where lowlifes might hang out. This is a place where you might find clues to lead you on your path.
True. I mean, truthfully, even if I were disguised, I have no idea how I'd hide the wigs. But let's just
You can pretend they're a cape, perhaps. You know, do a gargoyles thing.
for the future, perhaps. I don't think she's really concerned with that at the moment. Being very single-minded.
Okay.
So she will go inside.
All right. So yeah, you head inside, and sure enough, this is a place where a number of lowlifes are hanging out, and they look up at you. Immediately hostile to you. And the bartender looks over and says, we don't want no trouble around these parts.
No trouble will be given. I seek information.
Okay, go ahead and make a charisma check of some kind. If you want to use a skill, let me know which skill you're using.
I mean, I'm not intending to intimidate just yet. I will try persuasion.
Okay.
23, not bad.
All right. The tension eases, and the folk turn back to their tables.
Sorry, Eric, I'm dying because of the music. It is really, I'm tripping hard on this.
I'm enjoying it. Okay, so yes, the bartender goes, waves you over.
All right, she'll just walk over with that kind of like Terminator striding through anywhere, really. Kind of gait that very, you know.
What kind of information?
Do I have a name, by the way, for this person that I'm after?
Yes, let's say Viscount Thrush. So you tell him that name? Or
Yeah,
you tell him, okay.
I'm looking for one known as Viscount Thrush.
Oh. A rural noble, I guess, outside the city. You have this very unblinking way about you. It's making me disconcerted.
I'm not sure what you're talking about.
Okay. Well, the stable boy might, well, he takes note of the arms on carriages that pass through. He might have seen an unusual set of arms that came through recently. I could ask him. He's busy. Maybe you want to buy a drink while you wait?
Very well.
I could recommend this golden wine. Pushes a goblet across the bar toward you. It's empty. He picks up a bottle.
How much?
Holds up his other hand. Okay. He's like, if you have a piece of gold, one piece of gold.
She'll reach down, pull up a coin, set it on the table or the counter, push it across.
You must really want this, Viscount. Pours the wine for you.
I do. She'll pick up the wine.
Looks you up and down. Looks at your sword. Not a marital scuffle, is it?
No.
Domestic dispute?
No.
He leans over. Someone hired you to kill this person?
No one has hired me.
In the back of your mind, Irina says, as if justice works for a coin. Anyway. He goes, all right, well, I'll fetch the stable boy. You sit here and enjoy that wine.
I will be waiting. She'll
Okay.
sit, just kind of idly. Just, I guess she'll take a drink, but she's just kind of completely impassive.
Yeah. The wine is not very good. Obviously, the gold was more of a bribe than a payment. Yes. All right.
I figured.
Okay. So the bartender, we follow him briefly, and he goes in the back. And there is a small person sitting in a chair in the back, kind of attached to a table. And he goes over and he just yanks the hood off of this person's head, and we see that it is Dano. And he says, okay, little man, you succeeded. You done what I asked you?
Remind me again what I was supposed to get done?
This is why I don't work with little folk. I need you to, and then he gestures to the table, which is full of just various drugs and alchemical substances. He's all, okay, so I need you to turn this goblet into 2 goblets. Okay?
2 functioning goblets?
The contents of the goblets. 1 contents, cut it so that it makes 2, but the customer can't know. So he's literally kidnapped you and
to water down the wine.
Yeah. But make it, tasty.
Okay. I'm gonna need some grape juice.
Okay. There are casks in the corner. I see you're attached to the table. He hauls one over to you and he says, just so demanding. Look, one other thing. What was that strange carriage that you said you saw last night when you were trying to escape? And I caught you and put you back in the chair because you weren't done with your work yet?
It was tall. The wheels were really, really big. They had this like gold chasing around the hub.
The arms! The arms! That's what I'm asking you about. What were the arms on the carriage?
The horses don't have arms. Horses have 4 legs.
Look.
Oh, you mean the coat of arms?
I mean the coat of arms. Yes, that's right. There's a silver piece in it for you if you remember.
If you give me a some parchment or a piece of paper? I'm better visually than describing, so I can draw it for you.
No. I made that mistake last time. That's how you almost got out of your bonds.
These bonds?
Okay. Why don't you make me a thieves' tools with dexterity check, please?
Give me 1 second. Dexterity check with proficiency.
Yep.
That's 23.
Yeah, you are definitely free of your bonds. The innkeeper, barkeeper stares at you, slack-jawed. What do you want to do?
Okay, can I get that paper now?
Okay, then he tries to tackle you. So, because you're out of your bonds, right?
Right. So I'm gonna try and dodge, right?
So we're gonna make opposed athletics checks. Although you could make an acrobatics check if you prefer.
Oh, it'll be the same.
Okay.
Ooh, mine didn't go well. 6.
Okay, so he is making an attempt. He actually did worse than that. So
I'll take it.
Okay.
no, okay, so he also got a 6. So when you tie, kind of the status quo is maintained. So he tackles you, but he doesn't get a hold of you. And now you're both writhing around on the ground. Neither of you is grappling the other.
So it's like a 6-year-old slap fight.
Right. Only in this case, it's a 8 strength slap fight. Okay.
Look, we've had enough of this. I've been hit in the head a whole lot this week. I really just want to go somewhere, lie down, and be left alone for a little bit. If you let me help the nice lady, and then I notice that this is the same.
Yes, you can see, well, you see 2 things. 1, you see an open door. 2, you see that winged angel of death out behind the bar, whose eyes meet yours.
Is she doing the bird eye thing again? Where she doesn't blink, she just turns her head.
Yes.
Okay, yes. Yes,
we really got to stop meeting like this. And I'm gonna just start poking the innkeeper in the chest with my finger. Just enough with the slapping.
She's gonna stand up at this point.
Okay.
And make her way over there.
All right, so you vault the bar.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Honestly, I don't think
looks
she'd vault
very...
it. I think she'd walk around. Like, she just like...
Well, I mean, you don't necessarily see the entrance, right?
Okay.
The only way to get behind the bar is an opening in the opposite wall.
Fair enough. Then she will vault it and walk over.
All right. So the barkeeper looks past the small alchemist to the oncoming angel of doom. And he is looking a little bit afraid because, once again, passive intimidation of 16. And he says, just go. Is that your friend? Just go with your friend. It's fine.
Okay, I'm going to extract myself from the innkeeper, and I'm going to look around for whatever of my things he may have separated me from.
Yeah, you can find your equipment. Like, your bag was just kind of tossed in a corner.
So, I want to...
he's looking at you, Allie. Like,
I want to get a read on this guy.
Okay.
I believe I can use Divine Sense.
Divine Sense would tell you kind of generally if there are, like, dark, terrible things around. Otherwise, if you want to read a particular person, it would be just insight check.
Just insight? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, no, see, Ellie would
my
be like,
insight's
did I
not great.
stutter?
That's a 14. I got a 14.
You can still activate your Divine Sense if you want to.
Yeah.
Your 14 shows that this guy is mortally afraid.
right.
Divine Sense in this world would reveal the presence of a tarot spirit. And you do, if you have activated your Divine Sense,
Yeah, I'll do that.
sense some tarot spirits near you. Well, I mean, you register as a tarot spirit because you are inhabited by one. But there is a strong magical presence elsewhere in the city. And you get the sense of some dark, very, very dark and ancient power slowly approaching.
I'm gonna keep my distance from the big wing bird lady.
We need to leave. She'll turn and she'll start walking out. She just won't even say anything else to the bartender. She'll just start leaving.
He looks very relieved.
Okay. I'm gonna finish grabbing and packing up my stuff. Since I've been in the back room for a while, I know where the good stuff is, right? I'm gonna grab a bottle of the good stuff, say
Okay.
thanks a lot, and I'm gonna follow her out.
Yep, you got yourself a bottle of good quality wine. This was me using the fortune card because it is a stroke of amazing luck that you two ended up in the same place at the same time.
Just a bit. I think once outside, though, she will stop and without actually looking at him, just go, how many times is this now?
Do I recognize this as the same person from the very first night with the what was his name? The priest,
With the hermit? With
the hermit
priest?
that disappeared. Yeah.
That's a good question. Make an investigation check. Are you actively trying to hide your identity, Alan?
Nope.
Okay.
18 on investigation.
Yes. You can tell that this is the same person. You might have suspected earlier when you saw them again. They kind of inadvertently busted you out of prison. But now, just the way she's walking and moving just confirms that it is indeed the same person.
Yeah.
Changed, but the same person.
So I think this is 3 times now where I've been knocked out, locked up, and woken up, and you've appeared shortly thereafter. So this is either a stroke of wonderful luck or terrible misfortune. I'm not sure which. For you, wonderful luck. For me, I'm not sure.
If it were misfortune, our meetings would have been very different.
Duly
Can I
noted.
get a sense of, like you said something dark was approaching.
Something dark and very, very powerful.
Yeah. Like she will look like she's not even entirely paying attention. She's like scanning the skyline, looking down the street one way or the other. Like she's trying to get a read on something, but it's not clear what she's trying to get a read on.
Okay. All right. So the 2 primary presences that you sensed, one is of the Magician Arcana, and the entity approaching, you can't tell. It's very powerful, and unlike anything you've ever felt before. Now, a note about the cosmology of the world, and I'm going to unveil this as we go along, so don't worry. This is not going to be a huge exposition dump. A number of the Arcana are considered to be mortal Arcana. The Magician, the High Priestess, the Empress, the Emperor, etc. Up until about Death. Death is when you start going into the realm of the immortal Arcana that exists outside of mortal space. The Star is one of the immortal Arcana, and the Star is the only one that has an organized church. The other Arcana might have shrines, they might have individual adherents, worshippers, they might have individual cults, but the Star is the only one that has an organized continent-wide church. And their dogma is largely that of hope in the darkness and guiding people and being good and kind to each other, that kind of church. Okay, so the Magician Arcana would be a mortal arcana. So you would probably be looking for a very powerful magician who would have this arcana.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Now, as you're looking around, trying to get more of a bead on things, you happen to see across the square 2 other individuals who look fairly familiar. One very, very handsome pirate with an arm full of baked goods, and one, your mysterious, delicate-featured friend that you met some time ago, who's got her hair over her ears, and they are having some sort of argument.
Yeah. Well, may I just say at this point, it's actually only a handful of baked goods by now, and and it's at this point I'm like, okay, and so then after we corner the market on couture rabbit skin coats that you have gotten all the materials for, then we'll have enough gold to buy an atelier of our own, and then eventually we're going to want to sell that, but that's going to require some marketing. Man, this is like, how do you make money these days? Like, I used to just steal it. It's hard when you don't have a ship. Do you have any ideas? Because, I mean, this one's pretty good. Rabbit skin coats. Who'd think?
I was just gonna sell the skins.
Well, right.
Faster.
We're selling the skins, but you gotta get some zhuzh. You gotta package it in a way that, you have to create demand. No? This doesn't happen where you come from? Wow.
Well, I mean,
I really
people
thought elves were smart.
people need furs for things, and so they buy them from you. Presumably. I mean, we mostly skin things and then use it ourselves. So
Yeah, well, I mean, like, let me ask you, when you buy a house, do you buy a pile of bricks or do you buy a house?
I have not bought a house.
I think
Fair point, neither have I.
I think Lucretia, having spotted these 2 without saying anything, because this is just kind of how she rolls, has turned and started walking toward them.
Yep. Okay, so it becomes very clear to Ansari as Zeph is telling you about real estate strategies, which is pretty clear that he's just making this up as he goes. You can see over his shoulder a certain winged angel of doom, who you met previously, approaching you from across the square. There's a fountain with 4 carven figures that are pouring out water in different ways. One out of his hands like this, one female figure that's holding a jug pouring out water, and then the other 2 that you can't see very well. But you definitely focus on the angel there, who approaches. Go for it.
Well, she's gonna sort of like do an aside to Zeph and be like, "Your friend from the prison breakout. Like, what's her deal?"
So I would sort of whip around, I think, brushing my hands of the last of the crumbs, no more baked goods. And I would see you approach and be like, "Oh my God, look at you in the broad light of day. You look fabulous. Like, what are you doing here?"
She is completely unmoved. I would ask the same.
Well, since I will let my friend speak for herself on what she's doing here, but I'm trying to drum up some coin for ourselves so that we can achieve our life goals and missions and dreams and some sort of moral compass. Maybe you seem like you might be fond of moral compasses. Compassi? What is the plural compass? You'd think I'd know this since I worked on ships for a long time. You're giving me that look. Am I talking too much? I bet you give everyone that look. Never mind.
You would be correct.
To which question, might I ask?
No elaboration.
Do you know anything about where to purchase this ship? We assumed that we would need a lot of money, but also maybe we could go about it in some other manner.
Well, I mean, we could steal one.
Like
Yep,
her
that
head
was the
will
look.
tilt. Like, yeah, that will catch her attention.
And I was like, that was a test. Yeah. I see it. Got it. Noted for future.
Right, Dana. So you see all this going on.
I am shaking my head from afar, and as our captain friend is talking himself into a deeper and deeper hole, I come over and I suggest rather mildly, have you considered offering useful or meaningful services or goods to other folk?
Oh, see, that's what I was just talking about. She is so good at catching rabbits. You should see her. It's ridiculous. And I was thinking, and he will then go on to again explain his entire business empire plan until someone cuts him off, which I hope is soon.
I see. So you would like to manipulate and exploit the work of others. Is that correct?
Well, you just asked what skills we had, and I was giving a compliment to my friend on her forest husbandry. Is that accurate? What would you say?
The skills that one needs to survive. So, but I can also turn them to the benefit of others.
Generally, they call that mercenary work. Well, what about you, good friend? Like, what are you doing for coin these days?
Apparently, I'm getting hit in the head and waking up in strange cities. It's become a bit of a trend, and I'm not a fan of it. I spent the last several weeks on a ship, and when the magic that I had lent to the captain failed, and see, there's this magic that I can do that can make a regular sack hold far more than it ought to, but I can only do it on one, maybe two at a time. And if I lend that magic out and then use it on something else, the older one will fail. And so he had been hiding some things from his crew that maybe he shouldn't have, and when the magic on the sack failed and piles and piles of silver seemingly fell at his feet, there was a bit of a scuffle. Then a sack wound up over my head. And then I woke up with some mad innkeeper trying to get me to cut the wine. Speaking of, I'm going to pull out...
Ship captains hire you for magic?
Go on. Also, was the sack on your head bigger on the inside too? Was it roomy?
No, it wasn't. This was regular. It was the same sack, but it was a regular sack, just enough to fit over one's head.
Missed opportunity.
No, I offered to lend the magic in exchange for passage. And as we got closer to the city, I neglected to keep track of which of my magics was older. When you get hit on the head quite a bit, and I do, sadly, it's hard to keep track sometimes. And I infused some magic into my crossbow here, because we were possibly going to be boarded, and it was really quite exciting. But the captain didn't appreciate that all of a sudden he had nowhere to keep his silver coin, and he had been pleading poverty with his crew. And you know mutinies, they get rather messy. But I wasn't of any use anymore, and we were close to dock, so they decided to lighten the load, I suppose.
So let me tell you what I'm hearing. I'm hearing magic savant. And I forget, is Ansari I think Ansari is like some insane sorceress of doom, like Galadriel come to life because she's an elf. But is Ansari actually magical? I don't know yet.
Yes. Well, so she used. I actually, in the interim, I looked up Gust. So her cantrip like she can apparently summon wind, and it only does like little small things because it's cantrip. But so she'll like not here right now, but earlier she would have been like ruffling his hair or something like that, just like with
Got
wind
it.
that she summons.
Making it look majestic.
Got it. So I was like, so what I'm hearing, good sir, is that you control the nature of space and reality. My friend can control the weather. You are clearly, he's gesturing to Allie's character, you are just clearly everything. I have an idea.
Bird Lady looks uncertain.
Dare I ask?
The idea is that of everyone here, you are clearly the most motivated. And so I think we should offer you our services.
To what end?
You tell us, my good person. You are driven, clearly. So if you tell us your ends, maybe we can help with that. And, you know, if there's an opportunity for a little something on the side, then we could all benefit.
And well, but we can go right to the ship. I mean,
Yeah.
Clearly she has wings. She can do whatever she needs to do for herself. So we go to a ship and we offer the captain my magic, and you offer something, and you can carefully keep track of which of your spells are old and new, and then we can travel on the ship to where we need to go. It's very clear to me.
I like this. Also, I know you're going to kill the dragon like single-handedly, but like, you know, it's nice to have backup just in case. So like, you know, we're trying to make friends, you know.
Oh yeah, the dragon. I was sort of hoping you've forgotten that.
Why would I have forgotten that? That's the primary currency for which we are traveling together. Is there a
You-
conversation we need to have?
Intends to fight a dragon? Am I understanding that correctly?
Oh yeah. That's gonna be great. Do you see her? She's amazing. The weather.
Maybe I wasn't clear earlier. I've been defeated multiple times by cloth sacks and strikes to the back of the head. I'm clearly not qualified to be taking on any dragons.
Stout
worry,
Stick,
don't worry.
my old nemesis.
Don't worry. Dragons, they don't wear clothes. There's no cloth anywhere. You're gonna be fine. But back to you, my tall, impressive, statuesque beauty. How can we be of service to you, especially if it involves us all getting on a ship and going somewhere and killing dragons together?
How can they be of service to us?
I am looking for someone.
Yes.
Are you
Okay.
familiar with Viscount Thrush? I believe that was the right name. I'm just going to go with it.
That was the guy who put you in prison.
That was the guy that put me in prison? Oh, that'd be like, oh, I am indeed, actually. Are you going to hurt him? Please say
Yes.
Oh, good. We're going to be good friends.
I am going to ensure that he gets everything that he deserves.
And
Have-
Eric, what do I know about, how much do I know about Viscount in terms of,
He has a
Location,
number of
how to
very
find.
handsome guards.
I would have noticed that, it's true.
And you met him one time briefly. He was a very tall, gaunt, unpleasant man who smelled of root vegetables of some kind. And he was mostly angry, you recall, but like a cold iron-like anger. And he said, "You have stolen from me for the last time. The guards
Did
that
I
you
actually
tricked
steal from him?
before, maybe.
Maybe.
The guards you tricked before have been released from my service. I have new guards who are wise to your tricks. You are going to prison and you will hang on the morrow." And that's when Angel Lady rescued you.
Got it.
that night.
Got it. So would I know how to find this person? Do I know where he lives and all that?
Well, you know where he lived, but it has gone up in flames. And he is on the run.
And
But
this
you
was
do know
the
what his arms look like. The arms of his carriage.
Got it.
His
So
own
I would-
arms are gangly things.
Yeah.
Anyway,
And was it his guards that knocked me out and locked me up
probably.
as well?
I mean,
Have
you
we
did get
determined
hit
that-
on. You did get hit on the head, so you're a little bit fuzzy on it.
But it was
you
his
did
jail
wake
that I
up
woke
in his
up in.
jail. Yeah.
Yeah. So have we determined a means of punishing Viscount Thrush? Because may I recommend, and I pull out a little head sack.
I am going to find him, and I am going to, well, kill him.
Kill him. The Arenas agrees.
Okay.
Violently.
Okay. I'm in. He's a jerk. And I think I can help. I know a few things. Actually, I know what his crest looks like. I know where he used to live. I know what he smells like. I know what he looks like. And I've gotten past his cards so many times, I can't even tell you. It's kind of pathetic. And then I would turn to, sorry, I'm awful with names. It's a Virna.
So there's
Random.
Lucretia. That's
Oh.
Alex'
Right.
character.
And
there's
Sari.
Ansari.
And Sari. Okay, apologies, everyone.
Bruce.
So I would turn to Ansari and be like, so how did Viscount Thrush hurt you? There's no way this is a coincidence. Clearly, there's some sort of like mystical connection between all of us. It must be. No?
I want to get home, and you said you could get me home if I helped you with your dragon, and I kind of hoped maybe you would get like distracted by like, I don't know, a bakery along the way, but apparently not. So okay, we're doing the dragon thing.
Oh no, the
And-
bakery distraction happens, but anyway, sorry, never mind.
So that means that we're gonna do a job for money and kill the dragon, and then that'll get me. I'm losing track of where I get home, and she's sort of like, she's been keeping it together pretty well in the whole like city, but like she's getting a little sort of like upset, and she's moving away from the people as much as she can to sort of get a little more like personal space as much as she can. And she's like, what are we doing? What are we doing? How does it get me home?
I would say at this moment, like Zeph would actually go from like shuckster, like ridiculousness, and you would see like a hard pivot where he would actually come in and like with genuine sort of like care and concern start to be like, you're totally right. What do you need? We'll get you whatever you need. Getting home is the goal. It's true. There's just steps along the way. We're working at it. But what do you need? Do you need a little quiet place? Do you want to go in the alley right now?
Yes.
Okay.
But just tell me what we're doing next. I don't understand your question. I don't know any of these people that you're talking about. But if it gets me home, I can use my magic.
Promise you, we are working to get you home. And I think if we go with these fine folks, it's going to get you out of the city to start. And then it'll get us some gold, which will get us a ship, and we're going to get you home.
Okay. Deep breath. Okay.
Cool.
Good.
And then he turned around and like the shuckster bullshit comes straight back up. And he's like, all right, so it sounds like we have an agreement. Shall we go?
Okay.
I suppose.
Where
So
are we going again?
we're looking for this Viscount, yes? Is that the plan?
Yes, at least that is Lucretia's plan. She will add if you feel you can assist, then I will not turn down the aid. So very well.
think I just have
So-
to give a plug for Danos. Like, let him get a bag over the head at some point before you kill him. Okay.
Lucretia, you're starting to have kind of an ache in the back of your head. And the Arenas whispers to you, something is coming.
She'll say that out loud. Something's coming.
We should be about our business quickly.
We need to move.
We have
And she'll-
wasted too much time on the silver-tongued rogue already.
She'll turn and start moving. Then just
A random direction.
at the moment, probably heading for somewhere at least that's a little more not out in the open, not, standing in the middle of the street talking about this stuff.
Like, you want to go to the market? You want to go to another tavern?
Could go outside the city
Could leave
and
the city.
make
it's true.
camp. Just saying.
Anyway, you're considering where to go when you see a person at the edge of the square who, to be true, has been standing there for some time looking at you. This very tall man in a long robe with a walking staff. A very long gray beard, kind of bent with age. He's looking at you very, very clearly. And you all look at him and he goes, And then he looks toward the water down by the docks, and you feel the earth tremble, just shake slightly.
With that, I'm going to fly up.
Okay. Alright.
Try to get fly up high enough to get to a vantage where I can see down to the docks.
Okay, so you take to the air and you get a vantage down on the docks. And you can see that the waves gently lapping at the docks have become violent. Like there's a very large wave that just washes over the docks, and a bunch of people are like, backing away from the water and trying to grab crates and move them out of the way. You see a number of ships list to the sides from this wave. You look out farther in the sea, and you see the waves are getting bigger, coming toward the city. And that pain in the back of your head is just getting stronger and stronger.
Eric, how is the city geographically with respect to the water? Is it flatland? Does it raise away from the water? Is it like a bowl? What is it? How is it?
Good question. It rises away from the water. There are cliffs on either side that are about level with the top of the city. So there's basically a cove, and then the city was built along the slope down to the water. It doesn't extend all the way to the outer edges of the cove, but there are watchtowers built on those edges.
How big do those waves look like they're getting? Are we talking just like really rough seas? Or are we talking like there's a tsunami coming?
Like 5 or 6 feet in height, and they're kind of getting a little bit taller.
Can Zeph see this right now?
You can feel another tremor that goes through the city.
But I can't see the water activity.
And you can hear some kind of commotion down by the docks. But, okay, you peer out, you can see the water a little bit. It's like you're, standing in downtown Seattle and looking down at the water. And you can see it down through some of the streets. And the water does look really choppy for some reason.
Okay.
And with your keen eye as a sailor, Zeph, you can see that there's like a swell in the water as of something approaching under
So
the water.
I would turn to Ansari and say, "You are very smart. Out of the city, right choice. I suggest we go now." And I would like yell up to Lucretia and be like, "We're going!" And I would grab Ansari's hand and just start going away from the water.
I think while you're yelling that, Lucretia will have, dropped down, landed, and basically said, like yes, we need to get inland.
Yeah.
So you all gather together there, and sure enough, the gaunt old man standing at the corner of the square murmurs something, which you can, because he's close enough for you to hear. And he says, "It has begun. It is happening once more. Doom is coming. Judgment is coming." And it is at that point that when you were, Lucretia, when you were flying up there, you saw that the waves were really strong, and then they kind of like slowed down, and the water seemed to like drain back outward.
Okay. She's going to.
And when
are
the
there
old
any
man
guards
says
nearby?
that, a massive wave smashes into the docks, and you could just see, bits of wood and stone just flying up into the air, and the water rushing toward you as well.
Yeah.
right.
So she's gonna turn and grab if there's a guard nearby, she's going to turn, grab them by the scruff of their neck, and just be like, "Get everyone out of the city now!" and shove them away.
Okay, so yes, you tell a guard that something terrible is happening. He's just looking down at this approaching wall of water, and he goes, yeah, and he starts shouting, kind of running off. What do you four do specifically?
Running.
You're running. Okay.
Yes, getting
right.
away.
Yeah, I'm moving as fast as I can, but at the end of every kind of little burst, I'm turning back to see, does the water seem to be, I want to see, does the water seem to be receding back, or is more and more of it staying with?
Yeah, it's coming toward you. So this wave is crashing between the buildings. You start running away from it. Those of you who have 30-foot movement rate, you're doing pretty well. Danos, your movement rate is what?
I'm human, I'm 30.
Okay, cool.
Can I fly up above this?
I don't know, for some reason I thought Danos was like a gnome or something. Anyway.
Yeah, so did
I'm
I.
a stretched out gnome, remember?
That's
I look
right.
like a stretched out gnome.
Right, okay, that's why I was thinking that. Okay, cool. All right, so you three land-bound people are running away, and the flyer, you can stay out of the wave's path. You see that this water is just sweeping across the city, just taking buildings with it.
Is there any sight of, like, I know there's probably people that are way too out of the way to help, way too late to help, but is there anybody that I can see that might need assistance that I could actually aid from where I am?
You mean dive down and rescue somebody?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. All right, so yeah, you see people trapped amongst the amongst buildings, and just like trying to hold on for dear life as the water is rushing past. So yeah, you can swoop down and grab somebody if you like.
Yeah, I'll grab somebody.
Okay. We'll say you grab a young woman with a child, and you have hauled them out of the way of the water. Okay, you other three, you're just running
Does
I'm
it
gonna
seem like
need-
we're staying ahead of it?
Well, that is the next thing. What I'm going to need you to do is tell me how you are keeping ahead of the water. Now, what this is a chase scene. So you are you're either beating feet really hard with an athletics check, you're trying to get above the water level with an acrobatics check, or another athletics check, or something else. You let me know. Maybe use your magic. Anyway, we'll start with Zeph.
So long years of practice of running from things and darting through crowds, I am parkouring myself like around people, over carts, like under carriages, whatever I need to do to keep forward momentum, that's what I am doing.
All right, let's have an acrobatics check, please. That's what it sounds like you're doing.
Yep.
Oh, great,
I
no problem.
got a 20.
So yeah, you're just parkouring your way
30, 20.
through. Are you keeping your companions in sight, or are you leaving them?
I would assume that they are talented individuals that can take care of themselves, but I would keep an eye on them in case they disappoint me.
Okay. And Sari Ordanos, what are you?
Well, this might be a do inanimate objects shatter kind of question, but would gust of wind hold back water?
You can use Gust to try and hold back the wave, yes. It's not a very powerful spell, but it might make a difference.
I'm a 3rd level sorcerer. It's
true.
what I got.
It's true. Okay. So, yeah, go ahead and this will be a sorcerer spell attack, essentially.
So, okay. So I roll it like the spell attack. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you summon the winds. Clothes start flapping around you, and just
19.
19. Okay. Yeah, you do. Your spell is obviously not going to hold back all of the water, but you carve out like a wedge, so the water just flows around you and smashes into buildings rather than directly into you, which allows a number of people who are fleeing the tide to run out from those buildings and run off down the street.
It also says that a Storm Sorcerer special thing is that as a bonus action, I can cause gusts of air to surround you before or after you cast a spell of 1st level or higher. So yes,
Okay.
that allow you to fly up to 10 feet.
Okay, well, Gust is only a cantrip, so it's not a 1st level or higher spell.
No. Gust of wind.
Oh.
That's a 2nd level spell.
Okay, so you're not casting the spell Gust. You're
No.
casting the spell Gust of
Gust
Wind.
of
Okay.
wind. Yes.
All right. So this is more effective. You're basically carving out this whole street.
Yeah, 60
from
feet long,
the
10 feet
ongoing-
wide.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a lot. And you can feel the pressure of the wind against the water is pushing on you as well. So you think that if you used that side benefit to kind of give yourself the flight speed, the water will push you as well as you slowing it. Would you like to do that?
Heck yeah.
All right, that's exactly what happens. You kind of like float up into the air and you're pushing against the water and it is slowly pushing you back as well. But you are carving out this space for people to escape in. Danos.
Okay, so Danos has unfortunately had to learn over the years how to get out of spaces really quickly. And so he's going to take advantage of knowing both Long Strider and Expeditious Retreat.
Okay.
So he can double up on those because one of those is an action spell. He can't cast both in the same round, but he's going to start off with, I guess...
So I think you'd cast Long Strider first because Long Strider lasts for a while.
Yeah.
So,
and Expeditious Retreat's a concentration spell anyway, so yeah, definitely
right.
start with Long Strider.
So I will challenge you on this.
Mhm.
Since you are an alchemist and your skill is largely
Not
magic
an alchemist.
infused, you're
Not an alchemist. Artillerist.
Okay, since you're an artillerist and your magic is largely infused into objects, how do these spells manifest?
So I have these small sachets and packets of slightly explosive material. For Longstrider, I have a powder that I can kind of stick to the heels of my boots, and it makes a little kind of tiny explosion when I'm running.
Okay.
It gives me a little bit of a boost, not a lot, but enough to pick up my speed.
Awesome. Okay. And Expeditious Retreat just basically makes you a little bit faster, right?
Well, Longstrider raises your speed by 10.
And
Expeditious Retreat
lets you
is basically
use bonus actions to
bonus
dash,
action to
right?
dash. Yeah. So if I double dashed, I'd be at like 120 feet per round.
Okay. So initially, Zeph was like, "Oh, water coming!" Boom, and he's gone. And Ansari summons the winds and pushes it back, and it pushes her up into the air and away. And Danos was standing there, and he's like, "Yep, which one? Which one? Yep, here we go." Slaps it on his feet, and just zoom. Okay, Zeph, you see Danos just run past you,
Got it.
and you are
All
real
right.
fast because
With little firecracker noises every time my boots hit the cobbles. So pop, 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 pop.
Okay. So, all right. So let's. Okay, that is 3 very clear successes. All right, you have eluded the wave, at least for now. You've reached a higher level than the water is able to reach. It crashes and falls apart, the wave, before it reaches you. The water sweeps up a little bit onto the road, maybe nipping at your boots, but not otherwise striking you. You stand there panting for a bit, and your eye is drawn to this dark shadow that has appeared in the water down by the dock. And the water starts to rise like a billowing hill of water. And something boils forth. And it looks, let's see, make this work in roll 20. Oh, open the wrong thing. It looks like this.
Oh no, thank you.
There's a huge monstrosity bristling with horns and tendrils and spikes. It is easily larger than the largest building in this city.
Oh.
And it roars, this immense shattering sound that spreads for miles and miles. And that's where we're going to take our break. So Yang Yang, queue us up for 10 minutes. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
Pick up your gear and open your chests. Throw on your armor and head out on a quest. Hey, hey. It's a brand new day. On the Sword Coast, your allies will help with blades and bows and magic as well. Hey, hey. Heroes on their way. Fighting together against overwhelming odds. Fighting together in favor of multiple gods. Idle champions of the forgotten realms. Idle
Hello, Matt. Welcome back from our break.
Woo!
This horrendous monster has appeared, so that's good. But before we get back into it, I'm just going to remind everybody that we have a code for Idle Champions. We are still raising money for the Trevor Project. And there's lots of stuff to check out down in the doobly-doo below, while these intrepid adventurers try not to die. Okay, so here we
Thank
go.
you, Original Angson. Subs.
So the horrendous monstrosity just takes a massive step onto the docks, just sending wood and ships splintering up into the air, and it captures a ship in its maw and just bites it in half. And yeah, so you're up there in the upper city. You see the old man who has somehow made his way here, even though you rushed from down below. And he says, "Judgment has come. I shall try and hold it back." And then he lifts into the air with magic of his own and flies toward the creature.
Huh. Well, bye.
Lucretia, you can bye. Lucretia, you see this happening. The old man flying toward the thing.
All right.
As he goes, he raises his staff, and this little pea of flame appears at the end of it and hurls it at the creature. It grows into a larger ball of fire and explodes against the creature's face.
Okay. My first things first for me then is to land somewhere safe to let the young woman and the child that I rescued put them on solid ground again.
Okay. So they look at you, and the woman says, "Oh, thank you." And then she gets like the full image of what you look like and all of your angel of revenge glory. And she gets a little frightened. The child is like, "Ah."
You've not to worry from me. And she'll take off again.
"Mommy, that lady had horns. We're going to start a new life." And then she runs off. Yeah. Okay.
Far away from here.
All right, Lucretia, you're back up in the air.
Yes.
There are still people struggling in the lower part of the city, trying to escape the destruction being wrought by this monstrous thing. In the back of your mind, the Arenas says, "A worthy foe."
Lucretia will pause a moment. There is no benefit in breaking our body against something so great at this juncture.
She is wise.
I'm going to need you to make a charisma saving throw, please.
Oh, fun. Charisma. Oh, that's a 10.
For now, discretion, let it be the better part of vengeance. All right, the spirit has not overwhelmed you.
Okay, that's good.
It was
With
just a
that-
test.
With that out of the way, I'm going to focus on trying to get, since you said there were other people trapped, I'm going to swoop in and try to start like picking up people one at a time, or if I can manage two at a time.
Okay, make me an athletics check, please. We'll see
All
how
right.
successful that turns out to be. So I realize that all my bourbon glasses are in the house, so I'm drinking out of my Cass Eris citation needed mug.
Huh. Sure. It's only a 13.
I'm not an
unfortunately.
alcoholic. Why would you say that? Anyway, 13. Okay. Yes, you do manage to rescue a couple of people. Just swooping in. More endangered folk are near the monster. Do you want to attempt to get them out? All right, I'll let you think about that for a second.
Yeah.
The rest of the crew, you're relatively safe in the upper part of the city. However, there are bridges that lead up to the bluff that the city is built into. And those bridges are crammed with people trying to flee the city. Like hundreds, thousands of people trying to fit into a space that's meant for like 20 or 30 people. Those bridges, it seems to you, are specifically built to be severed in the case of like a siege or an assault from the land. And they stretch over this very wide expanse of just open ground, like a 50-foot fall from the bridge. And they're just packed with people, and the bridges are straining to keep up with the weight. So that's where you are. There are guards who are trying to direct people and keep calm, but obviously most people are just panicking. So there are lots of things you could do. You could try and do something about the panic. You could try and just escape on your own. You also, Captain Zeph, with your eye for the sea, you see that some of the docks, most of the docks are just destroyed. This creature has trampled into them and is just splintering them to bits. But there are a few ships at the far end of the dock, at both ends of the dock, that are intact. And those ships are getting out of town. Like they're throwing off the ropes and trying to get underway. So that is a potential avenue away from the city as well. What would you like to do?
I turn to Ensari and I say, do you want to help people? Or do you want a ship?
I want not be in this city anymore. So she's gonna look at the bridges and then look at the ships, because you just said, do you want a ship? And she's like, fewer people that way. So let's do that.
Okay. You say so. So I'm assuming that what we're going to need to do is we're going to have to figure out a way to basically navigate back through this tsunami ravaged rubble heap to try and get to a ship without drawing the attention or just randomly get squished by this giant monster. Is that accurate?
If you try and get down to a ship, you will have to avoid the monster.
Okay.
If you try and get along the bridges, you will have to deal with the crowd of people.
Right, understood. Ansari indicated ship was her choice.
Okay. So yeah, you think you can pick a path through the city that is least likely to end up encountering the creature?
Yeah.
Do any of you have any background that might be particularly relevant to this? Sailor isn't necessarily, but like urchin or no? All right.
Mechanically, no, but in my backstory, yes. But what I was gonna say is that when you say ship, and I look and I just go, oh boy, all right, and you hear me say, Corbin, buddy, I need some help, and that's the moment where you see a large bird of prey swoop down off a roof nearby and fly out ahead of us. And I'm like, pick me a path, bud. And I'm going to ask my familiar to sort of scout ahead so that we can try and pick a path.
So the bird flies down into the endangered city and imperiled. Let's go with that. Imperiled city, and kind of swoops over and then lands at the edge of a street, kind of indicating that you should go that way.
Cool. I'll be like, Danos, Yen.
I'm gonna take a minute to. Can we see the creature clearly from where we are?
Yes. The creature towers at least 100 feet high.
Okay.
When it stands up.
Would any of my skills? I have a sage and I've got training in Arcana. Would any of my skills suggest to me stories that I recognize this creature from?
Make
or
an
is it
Arcana
that
check?
And to be clear, like, Ansuri will go where people convince her to go. So if out of character people are really liking the bridges a lot better, like, she will go with the others. So.
Okay.
I mean, both seem like death traps, so it's coin toss.
Welcome to the game. Yeah. All right. So what
I only rolled a 10.
Okay.
Total.
Well, all right. So you have some knowledge of the Arcana. Okay. They are the world's myths. All right. Held in every culture all over the world. You have you've studied it a bit. It's not entirely exactly your thing, but you know the basics. And you know that among the Arcana, there are things called the greater Arcana. And this is, it looks like what you've read described in tomes as the beast of judgment. The judgment being, one of the most powerful Arcana in the world. So this is probably the most powerful creature ever encountered in your world.
We need to run. And given that thing looks like even though it came from the water, it looks like a land creature. I don't think it's going to stop until its hunger is sated. A ship might be better.
Great. Decided. We're going. Corbin's leading the way. Follow me.
All right.
Ansuri looks like pretty impressed. She's like, oh, you look, very powerful looking from there.
Excellent. Okay. Yeah, you head down that street. Okay, it is a mess. The buildings are cracked, damaged. Pieces have fallen off. The road is partly underwater. You're like wading through seawater as you go, filled with detritus, a few bodies. It's terrible.
And Suri's gonna use the cantrip gust to, like, sort of, do a little bit of clearing.
Just
Won't
push
do a ton,
things out
but-
of the way if they're blocking your way. Yeah.
Yeah.
There are overturned wagons and things, and you just kind of force push them out of the way. Making
wind.
yourself a little
Wind,
path.
wind.
Yeah, I know. You wind them out of the way. Making yourself a little path. You do see Corbin, the bird of prey, flying overhead, and he indicates another street turning left up ahead of you. You hear the creature roar once more, and another blast of flame, and it roars in kind of an irritated way. It doesn't sound pained. It sounds distracted and irritated. Okay. All right. Are you going to follow Corbin's lead?
That's my plan.
Yep.
Okay. Down this path, you see smaller humanoid creatures that look a bit like that creature that came out of the water. They have their like spines are piercing out of their flesh, and their faces are animalistic snouts, bristling with teeth. The closest analogy, does anybody have, anybody want to roll a nature check?
Sure, I'll do that. Let's see.
Excellent.
Not any particularly high modifiers on that, but whatever.
Okay. And sorry, I'll actually give you advantage on this.
Oh, good.
Because of your particular background.
It got worse.
Okay.
So, the
Can
high
I
one
give it a
was
shot?
9.
Yeah, sure. And sorry, that just looked terrifying to you.
Zeph
I got
got
a
a
20.
19. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that, Zeph. Okay, Zeph and Danos, they look a little bit like gnolls, perhaps? But like modified and mutated. To have these kind of ichthyoid sort of features, and their bodies are more suited for an aquatic existence. They don't seem to have noticed you yet. They are moving around erratically, pushing over barrels, looking through bodies, etc. Looking for something.
I will mutter under my breath so as not to draw their attention, but say, water hyenas. Just what the world needed. The things you didn't know you needed.
How do you want to get past them? This is definitely the road that Corbin is indicating. Okay, while you think about that, Lucretia, you're flying up in the air. You've rescued a few people. They are almost all extremely terrified of you, but grateful that you've carried them to safety. You see that your friends are no longer friends, companions, allies of convenience are no longer where you left them. Acquaintances. They are not where you left them. But you see this bird, this very large. You described it as a bird of prey, Ben. Do you have any more specifics about what it looks like?
You tell me. It's a familiar. It can be whatever.
Sure, that's why I'm asking you.
Yeah. Sorry.
Like, are you intending it to be a seabird of some kind? Are you intending it to be like a hawk or an eagle or?
Why don't we say that right now it looks like a barn owl?
Okay, it looks like a barn owl, a very large barn owl.
Yep.
Which strikes Lucretia as unusual. Like, you don't see this kind of bird by the coast.
Fair. She will alter course then from where she is, and I guess fly toward the bird.
Okay. Yes, very quickly you come to a spot where you can see down into this street where 3 monstrous creatures, like ichthyoid gnolls, spikes growing out of them, are tearing up the place, breaking whatever windows remain, shoving over cartons, looking for something. And you also see your companions huddled there at the edge of an alley. They appear to be weighing what to do about these creatures. You can also see the massive monstrosity still kind of slowly making its way up the hill as the wizard flies around it. He flies in this very like shoo, shoo, sort of way, like geometrically, not naturally, and throws fire at the thing. Mostly fireballs.
Okay. Well, alright then. I will probably descend then, and position myself in between my allies and these things.
Okay. All right. So back to the street level. Zeph and Sari Danos, you're about to come up with a plan, and Zeph has assured you all that it will be a wonderful plan. When Lucretia lands, the cobblestones kind of crack a little bit because, superhero landing. Sword drawn between you and the creatures. There are 3 of them, and they all look up at Lucretia. So, it appears that they are going to attack Lucretia, which gives you 3 an opportunity to slip by or join in the battle. All right, Lucretia, you surprised them. They were certainly not expecting this. What are you going to do?
Well, I think what I'm going to do is, swords out. I'm going to step in and I'm just going to engage.
Okay. So yeah, go ahead and attack one.
All right, let's see here. Boom. Where am I? Close. Darn you.
So battle is joined. Lucretia charges in. Do you have a war cry of some kind?
No, she's just silent as she rushes in and attacks.
Silent rage. Yeah. All right. Yeah. 14 is gonna hit one.
All right, let's see here. And damage.
Dang. Okay.
That's
So
11.
yeah, you cut deeply into one of them, and the creature utters this otherworldly howl of agony. All right. It is not downed, but it is very deeply hurt. Like your blade chopped into its shoulder, between its shoulder and its neck, and just went halfway through its torso. All right. You other 3. What would you like to do? Let's start with Zeph.
I mean, I can't resist a sword fight.
Okay.
It's too good. So I will sort of like leap in, and I am assuming that I am unseen by at the moment, or unnoticed by the one closest to me.
You were catching them by surprise. They're focused entirely on Lucretia.
Excellent. Then I'm going to jump in and attempt to stab one directly through the back with a booming blade.
Okay. The same one that Lucretia hit, or a different one?
I will say a different one.
Okay.
My point is to sort of distract them so that if the other 2 want to keep running, they can.
Okay.
So that would be a 15 to hit.
Yep, that will hit.
All right. So that one is going to take that plus sneak attack and work with me and beyond. All right, that's a 10 total damage, and so when I stab it, like in the back, at the exact same time, a sort of spectral copy of my rapier appears just above where I stabbed it, and as I withdraw my rapier and then dance back without provoking opportunity attack, because swashbuckler shenanigans,
Right.
then that blade is poised to stab it should it move on its next turn.
Okay. Ansari.
Well, so my good stuff goes like, shh, and y'all in the way. So, she's gonna take the opportunity to sneak past as they're late, but then she's only gonna go to like basically the end of the street, And then, I can't do too much stuff at once, but she's going to stop and turn back, and then she would start doing other stuff at that point.
Yeah, you get to the end of the street, or the end of your movement, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you look back, and make a stealth check.
This will go well.
The DC is not very high because they are distracted.
Yeah, it did go well.
Oh yeah, you snuck past, no problem. Okay, yeah, these are horrendous creatures that remind you of something that you heard in a fairy tale once, long ago when you were a child.
How many are there?
3, 2
Okay.
of whom are injured, one of whom is untouched. Okay, Danos. Or did you want to do something else, Ansari? You haven't really done an action.
Oh, okay. I thought it was my movement, but
Did you want to double move all the way? Because that's cool too if you want to do that instead.
no, she at least has ice knife.
Okay.
So she can throw that. Let me check the text here. Ranged spell attack. That is 14.
Yep, that hits.
Okay, I'll let it do the damage here. Come on, D&D Beyond. 6.
All right, so the shard of ice shoots out. You want to describe your spell?
I mean, it just ignore that reroll. I wanted it to. Anyways, so it looks like a knife of ice. I'm sorry.
That's fine. Okay, no, I mean that totally works. So you conjure this blade of ice and send it at your.
I mean, so imagine like hail is round, but if it sort of was accreting around like an icicle or something, not an icicle because those are nice and clear, but hail is sort of like cloudy and sort of like it looks like it's accreted. So this is sort of like a hail icicle.
Excellent. Okay, so you sorceress Dia one of the monsters. Is it one of the injured ones or the untouched one?
It's the one Zeph's fighting.
Okay, so that icicle goes right. The hail dagger goes right into the creature's back, bursts through its chest, and it falls over dead. Okay.
My spectral rapier is just like womp womp and disappears.
Okay, all right. How does it disappear? Does it fade away or does it disappear in a more dramatic fashion?
We'll just say it disappears, but if it were more dramatic, it would be like and disappeared.
Like it salutes and then.
Sure.
All right, cool.
Also, by the
Danos.
way, thank you for that Sources Dia reference.
You're welcome.
So
Everyone
I'm gonna.
knows I'm a Final Fantasy person, so it's Ben. So.
I'm gonna pull my crossbow from my back, and despite the fact that it doesn't seem like I have any ammunition anywhere, I'm gonna pull back the string, cock it at the as yet undamaged creature, and pull the trigger. A bolt of purple magic is going to form as the string comes forward and shoot forward and hopefully hit. Because my crossbow has been infused. I have a +1 to hit, so I'm gonna miss though because I only got a 10.
All right, yeah, that is gonna miss. So this bolt. Is it an actual physical bolt, or is it?
It's magical. It's created by the crossbow.
So it's a magical blast. All right, so you pull your Magitech crossbow, and you fire, and this blast of energy shoots past, narrowly missing the creature, and shatters into the wall.
Real stormtrooper stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, is that it?
I'm not close enough to any of them to worry about physical engagement right now, right?
No, you are definitely at range.
Wait, was I hidden? Do I get advantage on that attack roll?
Oh yeah, technically yes.
Try that again. Ooh, this time's a 15.
Oh, well, that does hit.
I did a whopping 4 damage.
Excellent. Okay, so yeah, this blast of energy strikes. We'll say that your bolt mostly missed, but like just kind of like nicked past the creature's shoulder, breaking off one of its spikes.
I feel like I'm getting a consolation prize for missing at the carnival.
No, it's just because I described it as missing in the first place, but you did have the advantage. So yeah, you did strike it. You didn't do all that much damage to it, but you did hit it. All right. Yeah, the creature is now definitely aware of you now, however. Okay. So the one fighting Lucretia is going to take a swing at her with... Well, it's just going to try and bite at her, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, and it does. Okay, so it was coming at you, and then another mouth comes out of its mouth and just sinks its teeth into your shoulder. And you weren't expecting that. So it hits you pretty solidly. It crit you. You take 6 points of damage.
Except I have adamantine half plate, which makes me immune to crits.
So its teeth just kind of bend and crack against your armor of the damned, and you only take 4 points of damage.
All right.
Thank you for reminding me.
For horror purposes, are we talking like moray eel kind of thing, or like full on alien broodmother?
It's alien broodmother kind of thing.
Okay.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Just so we're clear.
All right. So the other one that the one that Zeph struck is dead. The other one is also going to strike at Lucretia because it can't really get to any of the other people. 12 is not going to hit though.
No.
So it snaps at you, but you just pull yourself out of the way. Okay. Back up to the top. Lucretia.
All right. Well, I'm going to look at the one that I'm gonna wait on that. What I'm gonna do is I am going to use. Yeah, that's what I'll do. I'm gonna use Searing Smite. So, yeah.
Is this on the injured one? Well, they're both injured, but one is more injured than the other. And they're both attacking you.
I'm focusing on the injured one for now.
The more injured one? Okay.
Yeah, the more injured one. The one that bit me.
Okay.
Let's see here. So I'm going to attack. So I'm using Searing Smite, and I'm going to attack with my longsword.
Okay.
That is only a 10.
All right. So you swing, and just the creature moves out of the way, and your sword misses.
Okay. Well, it is a concentration spell, so I can hold it for the next minute. So.
Yeah. So basically, your sword is charged up with fiery magic,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just maintaining the spell. Okay.
Yes.
Zeph.
How far am I from the ones that are harrying Lucretia?
It took you 20 feet to get to them, and then you moved away. So I'll say you're 10 feet away from them.
Perfect. Okay. And then I don't know how you handle. Is there any sort of like? I know 5e doesn't technically have flanking, but sometimes people have. How do you deal with getting advantage if you're on either side of an enemy?
You just have to come up. Well, I don't really do flanking, but you can.
Don't worry about it.
Cool,
I got enough
fun descriptions of something.
Well, I don't need a fun, cool description. I've got it in the mechanics. And so I run up and I'm like, and I actually like, well, I don't know if I whistle. Anyway, you just hear me be like, Corbin, regular, it's time to do it. And my owl does its flyby, doing the help action and not provoking opportunity attacks because it's got the flyby ability, giving me advantage as it sort of basically comes and like just temporarily just pecks at its head to distract it.
Yep. The creature's bracing for you, and then the owl comes and it's like, ha, ha, ha.
Yeah. So,
exactly the wrong instant.
I'm assuming a 21 will hit.
Definitely struck it. You
That's
jab
correct.
your rapier into the creature.
All right. So same
wow.
deal.
Okay.
Stabbing it, sneak attack, and then another spectral blade appears. This time, this one is down below. It's like trying to hide in the rubble, being like, "Come on, move! I dare ya!" And
So
then I will
you
dance
didn't-
back.
You didn't specify which one you were attacking, so I'm going to
Sorry,
say
I
that
would-
you struck at the same one that Ansari had hit with her blast. So it is still alive, not terribly well. It's very damaged.
I got
and
a
the
kidney.
rapier
I
is
know what I'm
floating over.
doing.
Okay. So now there are two very, very injured creatures. Ansari.
I mean, people still in the way, so
Yeah,
get
you
in
hear
way.
the massive monstrosity roar, and like the whole street shakes as though the creature took some massive step, possibly toward you. Anyway. Go on.
Well, I mean, we got to get out of here, but I'm not going to abandon them. So I'll throw another ice knife.
At the one that has the rapier floating above it, or the other one?
Well, I presume Zeph, that it's closest to Zeph that has the rapier.
Well, Zeph has kind of danced away from both of them, and they're
Okay.
both just next to Lucretia.
I mean, not that she doesn't want to help Lucretia, but she was helping Zeph. Yeah, the one with the rapier.
Okay.
And I'll just roll it all at once this time. Okay.
Yeah, that definitely hits it. So yeah, the ice plunges into the creature and it sinks to the ground and falls over dead. The rapier again salutes you and disappears.
So I would turn on Star and be like, "I'm not going to be ungrateful, but we talked about this. We talked about this."
Okay. And
I'm
Danos.
helping you.
You are.
I guess I'm just gonna target the remaining fishnal, I suppose
Fishnal, yep.
we're calling them.
You can call it a deep one. It's okay.
I don't know what they're called. It's the deep one.
Sure.
I'm gonna fire the crossbow again. Does a 13 hit?
13 narrowly strikes the creature.
Excellent.
It only does partial damage, however. When you meet
Well,
the
I
AC,
only
have it
rolled
do half
4 damage.
Okay. That is enough, though. It was very, very hurt. So it does... You just narrowly caught it, and it just... goes down. Alright. You've slain the creatures. You're panting
Yeah.
with that exertion.
Are they carrying anything that seems that it might be of use, or should we just book?
They appear to have like bone, like jewelry, necklaces, circlets on their arms made of bone and twine.
I don't think we have the time.
Doesn't appear to be.
Yeah.
All right. You see a shadow appear overhead, and then a crumpled old man with a gnarled staff lands in the street, fallen down and breathing heavily.
Goodbye
he looks up
again.
at you, and he says, Flee. Save yourselves.
That was the plan.
He
Alright.
he tries to rise, and he's just.
Should we be
Since we-
taking him with us?
Oh, he's clearly got a mutter complex, so I'm not going to try and fight him and change his destiny. But I am curious though, since I'm assuming I heard Danos maybe mutter something about Greater Arcana, I might actually sort of pause and be like, does the old man look familiar?
Make an Arcana check.
We'll do. 18.
Okay, so the old man, his whole aesthetic, the slightly gnarled staff, and the long beard, reminds you of the legend of Alicrus the magician, who is a demigod, as it were, a representative of the mortal arcana of the magician.
Well,
Also, the whole magic thing kind of gives you that sense.
yeah.
And Lucretia,
Ugh.
this guy is definitely that thing you were sensing.
That makes sense. Given this thing is like looming now.
By the way, this whole plot line brought to you by the destruction card, the tower. So,
The tower, I know it well.
sudden
yes.
destruction, no less.
Well,
Anyway.
I'm gonna go for broke here. I'm gonna try something a little crazy. I'm gonna try to save the old man.
Excellent.
I can fly. I'm gonna try for it.
You
Like,
gonna pick him up?
yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
zip in and pick him up and try to fly away.
All right. He is surprisingly light. I mean, he must be like skin and bones under those robes, is what I'm saying. Yep, you lift him up. He looks up at you. You are nobler than I thought. Thank you.
I do what I must. And she'll just try to fly away from this thing as quickly as possible.
Okay. Corman flies back up to mark another road. You want to follow his lead?
Yeah.
So at this point, Lucretia, you can kind of see that you're getting close to the end of the dock where there are 2 ships remaining. One of
Okay.
them is flying the red claw flag of the Infernal Empire, and one of them has some other flag that you don't necessarily recognize, but it doesn't seem to be an Imperial flag.
Okay.
And they're both they're throwing off the last ropes and they're about to get underway. The Infernal Empire, you know only a little bit about this. You've never actually met anyone from the Infernal Empire, but they are an empire of goblins, goblinoids, that are seeking to dominate the world. Okay.
Okay.
And you did successfully dodge a warband once when you were lost with Danos. But you've never actually interacted with anybody from the Infernal Empire.
Okay.
Okay. The other flag you don't recognize.
Well, given who I have with me and how injured he is, I think I will not go for the Infernal Empire ship, but I will attempt to land on the other one.
All right, sure enough, you swoop down, you land on the ship. On the ship?
On the
Just
ship.
Directly on the ship, okay. In the middle of midships. Yeah, there are a bunch of humans. Shirtless, sweating, terrified, trying to get underway. And then they see this angel of vengeance appear among them. With a passive intimidation of 16. Belaying pins, cutlasses come out, and they're like, ah!
Calm
Have we caught up
yourself.
yet?
Not
Okay.
yet. Just Lucretia.
Calm yourselves. This man is injured.
make a charisma check. If you want to use a skill, let me know.
Oh, persuasion. I'm not trying to intimidate
Okay.
anybody. Ooh, 25.
All right. Okay, so maybe it's your silver tongue, or maybe it's that they just want to believe that you're not a threat, but they keep going about their business to get underway. The captain, you hear a woman shouting, "Ignore her! Keep going! Pull us off! Get out now!" All right. So, the rest of the crew, the three of you are headed through the street that Corbin marked out for you.
Guest clearing still.
Yeah, the building just to your right collapses, just like wood comes flowing down toward you, and you see this massive tail tipped in a stinger has just crushed this building. The stinger is longer than a two-handed sword, and the tail itself is at least 10 feet in diameter. And it's blocking the way.
Oh, okay. I'm like, we keep running, man.
You're like, yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. All right, so it's blocking the way. What are you gonna do?
Is it something we could jump over or through or around, or we're just obstructed?
Theoretically, yes. You could try and leap over it. You could also wait until it moves, if it's going to move. Whatever you want to do, you let me know. You want a second to think about it? Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
I could try a spell, and then if that doesn't work, then
Okay.
no.
I
Oh,
yeah,
I don't like
no,
that
I'm not
smile.
going to do a
What you
spell.
gonna do? All right, now I'll let you think about it. Lucretia, back on the ship.
Yes.
So the captain, this red-haired woman with the eye patch, shows up. She comes storming up to you, and she says, "You! Who are you? Why are you on my ship?"
Your ship is one of the few methods away from this place that is safe still.
You have wings? What do you need a ship for?
This man is injured, and my companions will need a way out of here as well.
She looks back up at the city. Your companions better make haste.
Is there some place I can put him? And she'll kind of indicate the injured old man.
She points toward the staterooms at the back. Just put him in one of those rooms. I'll deal with you shortly. Get out of here. Cut the ropes if you have to.
All right,
She
Lucretia
does
will.
she does not seem intimidated.
No. Lucretia does not care, but she
Okay.
will walk off and
Okay.
see to the old man being put somewhere to rest.
So Lucretia she did mention she had companions, but she did not try and convince the captain to wait. Okay, so you three in the
Yeah.
street.
They can run. They're fast.
Sure. What have you decided to do?
So my entire survival strategy just in life is to be able to observe and react. So when the tail comes down, am I able to tell, does it come down thwack, it's done, or does it come down thwack and I see it twitching as if it's gonna go back up?
There is a shutter that runs through it, and that blade just kind of moves around.
Right. So I'm getting a sense, is it gonna lift up if we wait, or is it
Make an insight check.
yeah, that's what I was hoping, something like that. $19.
Okay, you think that it is going to move again, but it's going to be a couple of rounds before that happens.
Oh, okay. No, we can't. No, cannot wait. So I am going to try my sort of gymnastic parkour shenanigans again to get over it, and I'm going to just turn to them and be like, Please follow me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Just hoping that they're nimble. They look nimble, you know. We got some liveness, we got some elfiness. Maybe they can do it.
Acrobatics or athletics check?
Oh, I think you know which one I'm doing.
I do.
14.
Okay. Yeah, you hop over it, or at least you almost get all the way over it. You trip slightly and end up on top of the tail.
Of course I do. And I'm like, oh god, not again.
Ansari. So Zeph vaults over the thing. So he does his best. You know, running start, high jump, doesn't quite clear it.
Okay. Well, I mean,
He's on top
so
of it.
that definitely means I'm not going to be trying to like spell sort of like shoving at it. But to use my little like flying thing, I need to waste a spell.
Waste
so-
a spell or
I was like,
use a
not-
spell?
Not dying is not a waste, I think.
Yeah, not dying is good.
Well, so what I'm wondering is like if I do Ice Knife because that's first level, so that'll activate the wind thing. And if I like Ice Knife into the tail and it like tweaks it and it sort of goes like this, then that's no good for Zeph.
I don't know. You're not really sure. Make an insight check.
Okay. All right. I keep rolling and then I'm like, wait, no, I need to find my modifier. 16.
Okay. You're pretty sure if it moves, he has a good chance of tumbling free safely.
Okay. Well, in that case, I'm gonna like Ice Knife it because this will be like a little gnat bite, if anything. But and then that gusts me up, and sort of like I'm gonna sort of like gust up and over.
Okay. At Zeph or past Zeph?
I mean, so if he's kind of on top, if I can like go and like sort of like, she can't carry him, but she could sort of like give him
You
a
could
boost.
tackle
to,
him or
yeah,
shove
tackle him kind of.
Okay. All right. So you send an ice knife into the thing. Go ahead and roll.
Okay.
Okay. So not only did you hit, your ice knife sinks into the narrow gap between the stinger and the armored carapace, striking deep into the creature. The tail, sure enough, does twitch and start to retract. You go flying up into the air because your magic has borne you aloft, and you slam into Zeph. And Sari, make me an athletics check, please.
Okay. Well, we'll see how this goes. Woo!
Well, you
7.
don't have noodle arms, but
I do not.
but anyway, all right. So you run into him. You don't like grab onto him or anything, but you just kind of slam into him, and then you're both tumbling off the tail. Well, you were tumbling, except that you're not actually locked together. So it's just Zeph who goes tumbling, and Ansari, you just kind of like float awkwardly past.
Flying
Zeph.
is not precise.
Make a dexterity saving throw, please.
As I'm falling, I just say, I deserve it.
All right, you land on your feet, no problem. Okay, Danos, Ansari has cleared the way. The tail lifts up out of the way, and you can just scurry under if you like.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Going as fast as I can.
Zoom. Just runs past.
With the little popping noises still happening on my feet.
I'm gonna need you to make a dexterity save with advantage, please.
Okay.
Advantage because you have those heightened speed things going.
Dex save, you said.
Yes.
Oh, it's good think it was with advantage. One of them was a 1.
Yes, definitely a good thing.
18.
Okay, good. You narrowly get under the tail, which then slams back down into the ground, hard enough to just pancake a wagon that was right there. But it narrowly misses you, and you scurry down the rest of the road. Zeph and Sari, you're both free to move on. You have eluded the tail.
Booking it.
Going to the ship.
Okay.
Gotta get on.
Yeah,
I
you
turn
get
and be
down
like,
to the docks. You see the
"See,
ship
you
is
made it."
starting to pull away. The last ship.
How close is it to the dock at this point?
It's a 10-foot gap.
And
When
does it?
Danos gets there, because Danos' movement is ridiculous.
And is there rope or anything there? Did they cut the ropes? Did they toss the ropes? What'd they do?
They tossed some of the ropes, they unwound a couple of them, and they cut the others. So yeah, there is rope there.
Okay, I'm gonna since
It's
I'm
not
still
attached to the ship, though.
but it's attached to the dock, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay, so since I'm running at full stride, I'm gonna try and pick up one of the ropes and try and, since my speed is higher, try and jump the 10 feet and make it onto the.
Okay. Roll me an athletics check, please.
There goes nothing. I have failed.
Well, what'd you roll?
5.
Excellent. Okay, so with the 5 and your extremely enhanced speed, what is your speed right now?
Right now it's 40, but if I was running at top speed, so I was using my action as a dash, so I was going 80 feet per round.
Okay, I think you could still make it with the 5. It's not a very graceful leap, but because you are magically enhanced, you do still make that leap. 5 is literally the lowest you would have had to get. And you end up on the ship with the rope in your hands. The rope is spooled out behind you. Okay, and Sari, Zeph, you come running down to the dock. Danos, you can see them arriving at the dock.
I'm just holding on to the rope for dear life in the hopes that they can make it somehow across the rope onto the ship.
Okay.
Well, once I've put the old man someplace safe, I will come back out onto the deck, and if I see Danos, landing and struggling with the rope, Lucretia will walk over and grab it as well.
Okay. All right, so now you're both holding the rope. Zeph, you and Ansari get down to the dock.
Mm-hmm.
You go first. What do you want to do? There's a rope kind of stretching between the dock and the ship.
Oh, that
It's not
hasn't been
exactly
cut yet.
taut, but it's about to be taut because it's about to run out of slack.
So it's attached, or it's just a coil,
It is
rope
attached
that's
to the
running
dock, but the ship is probably going to pull that rope out of your friend's hands or pull them off the ship if they hold on to it.
Okay. Sorry. So it's. I guess I'm confused. So it's attached to the ship and the dock.
Well, it's attached to the ship in that they're holding it and they're standing on the ship.
Got it.
It is attached
Danos
to the
grabbed
dock.
it and took it over to the
Could I
ship.
just, could I just fly down, pick them up, and carry them over?
It's a really good question, but you see the creature turning toward
Oh.
the source of that pain in its tail and heading toward them. So they basically need to get on the ship immediately. You can fly over there if you want to,
Okay.
So-
or you can hold the rope.
I will hold the rope.
Okay, Zeph, what are you going to do?
As we're running, I'm going to pull out what rope that I have.
Mhm.
And I'm going to hand one end to Ansari.
Okay.
And I'm going to be like, I believe in you. And I'm going to throw the other end of the, I'm going to do my best to make eye contact with any sailor that I can get eye contact with and use every ounce of whatever charisma they might enjoy receiving from me so that they notice. And I'm going to try and be like, you got this too, man, and get them to catch the rope.
Okay. I am going to say that this is a ranged attack that you're making.
Okay.
So go ahead and make a, since you're a sailor, I'm going to say that you're probably proficient in throwing ropes, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to say go ahead and make a dexterity attack with your proficiency modifier as well. You throw the rope?
You know, it's really hard to throw a coil of rope that you haven't like
You
had
throw the
time
rope?
to really prep.
It splooshes into the water.
Yeah.
Okay, so the rope is drawing taut between your friends and the dock,
Well,
forming
do
a kind of tightrope.
so do I have time to do something else?
You could still keep moving.
Okay, so then I'm gonna do like, forget that rope, grab the other rope, and
Okay.
and what I'm going to attempt to get us to do is that I'm just gonna want us to sort of like reach down, grab the rope, and cut the end that's attached to the dock, so that when the ship eventually goes, that we go with it.
All right, so you grab the rope that your friends are holding on to.
Yeah.
And start sawing at it, or do you just chop at it?
Yes, whatever seems most effective.
Okay, well, you have
But
a
I need to
rapier,
make sure
right?
that Ansari is like understands what I'm doing and is with me. I'm not leaving her.
Okay. All right, Ansari, what are you gonna do? So Zeph hands you this rope, goes, aha! Sploosh. That did not work.
Wrong rope.
So what skill is swimming based off of?
Strength?
Okay. Because I'm just thinking, like, she would think in terms of just swimming out to it, but she's not got, like, a particularly high modifier in that.
Yeah, the ship is now 25 feet out from the dock.
Yeah, her wind gust ain't gonna get her there. So, since she was already thinking of swimming, like, holding onto a rope, like, that leads to their goal is better than just sort of, like, going for it. So she'll help, Zeph cut the rope and then, like,
Okay.
jump, sort of. She can't dive if she's
What are
holding
you,
on, but, like,
Yeah, what are you gonna cut it with?
she's got a dagger.
Okay, another piercing weapon. Cool.
I don't carry, like, a hacksaw, dude.
Look, I'm not judging. All right. So you're both sawing at the rope. Your companions are holding on to the other end, which is it's starting to grow very taut, and you see the monstrosity, the beast of judgment, coming down toward the dock. It just steps on a building and crushes it, and then its claws coming for the dock where Zeph and Ansari are. All right. One of you, I need a d20 roll, please. Just a d20 roll. This is the Die of Fate roll. Okay,
Not it.
Rhiannon.
16?
Okay, you managed to saw that rope free. It snaps free just as the creature's claw comes down and just crushes the dock. Just boards splinter up and fly at you, and it just propels you forward with the force. And you find yourselves in the water, but clinging to this rope as the ship sails away. Lucretia, Danos, the rope goes very taut, and it's you're now holding on very hard, and the creature staggers again to try and like reach out its claw and strike at the ship, but it narrowly misses and just plunges face first into the bay as the ship narrowly escapes. And that's all the time we have for tonight. So thank you all for watching this, the first action-packed session of the Path Arcana adventure. Destiny awaits these unlikely heroes. Thank you for coming with us on this journey. I have been Eric Scott, TM of this game and other games here on the stream. Greymantle will be returning next week. I know some of us are stoked about that for Chapter 2. Since the first one was supposed to be Chapter 0 and this is going to be Chapter 1, but maybe, okay, the next part of Greymantle starting on Monday. Monday, same time, same channel, but Monday instead. And with that, take it away, Allie.
Hi, everybody. I am Alexandra Pitchford, or Allie to most folks. I am a writer, game designer, TTRPG streamer, and yes, definitely looking forward to Greymantle. One last word, do not forget, check out Idle Champions. The code is down below, the idlechampions.com for the website. So just, they're awesome. They've been a long-term sponsor of ours, so do pay them some attention.
I've been Rhiannon Held. Check out my books. I write urban fantasy under Rhiannon Held and space opera under RZ Held. My space opera novella series is now complete. So if you, for instance, like sci-fi wings, then that's the thing that is also in there. And tonight, thank you to our moderators. I'm always like Shay, but no, Shay is right here with us.
Yes.
Meyer Doug, Rumpus Imperator, and I think I saw Celdering earlier. Next week I will talk about it because I am in that game. In this Wednesday slot, we are doing the Adventurer's Guide to the Multiverse. So that is also an interesting and cool kind of different game. So come check that out.
Awesome. And I've been Benjamin Williams, and I'm so grateful that you will put up with me role-playing being insufferable. I swear it's role-playing. And I'm incredibly grateful to be here. Thank you so much.
And I have been and will continue to be Brian Cortillo. Thank you all for joining us and for sticking around to the end. Please make sure that you're following on Twitter, that you are joining the Discord so you can stay up with our schedule and all the wonderful things that are happening on the channel. For those that want to support, make sure you click that subscribe button every once in a while. Again, thanks for having us and for watching.
I want to throw out one last reminder. We are continuing our series of watching questionable D&D and/or other fantasy movies on the stream. So come join us for our viewing on Friday, which I believe will be the second D&D movie
on the Discord.
The details will be on the Discord.
Well, we watched
not on Twitch. Not on Twitch. We watch it on the Discord. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for that clarification, Rhiannon. Yes. Check the Discord for full details. If you're not subscribed to the Discord, what are you doing with your life? The Discord is the place to be. You'll see all the announcements and the scheduling and all the information. Also some great writing from numerous of us, including Rhiannon, Aaron, Allie, myself. There's that thing that Rhiannon and I are writing that I need to get to. That's right. Yes, I do intend to do that. I will have something for you within the next couple of days. That's the hope. Okay. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time.